Well, hey everybody, happy Monday. How are you today? Time for a brand new week. I'm going to read you a quote, okay, by Napoleon Hill. He's a famous business author, very famous book on Amazon. And the name escapes me right now, but you can look it up. More great people have attained their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. So whether you are entry level or you just started your career in the paralegal field and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not sure I like this area of law. Look, you don't have to stay there. So don't ever think that, well, it must be my way or the highway and this is how I'm going to do it. I want you to practice flexibility no matter what your age. People talk to me all the time about if at 32, if at 38, if in the 40s, 50s, early 60s even, if it's too late for them. Well, they talk about, and some of you here have talked about that there's ageism in the workplace. Well, there's always going to be ageism in the workplace, but one of the things that people will say that they're afraid of, and if they hire an older worker, what they say more often than not is they find that they have a strong work ethic. That's a positive. The downside is they're afraid they're going to be so stuck in their ways that they're inflexible to new ideas, new way of doing things. They didn't do this way, so they're going to they're going to plant their feet and be immovable. That's not the reputation you want to have. And so knocking down the walls, whether it's thinking you're too old or you didn't do it that way, so it must be wrong, they're doing it wrong. You've got to let go of, you're bringing some expertise in, but you got a lot to learn because there's a lot to learn in the law office. Okay, no matter which one you're in. So you have to eat humble pie. And the saying that beggars can't be choosers, I understood that going into this field. I was the CEO of my own little business before I went into the bad corporate job and then into the legal field. Nobody cared. Nobody cared that I owned my own business or what I did before. I just needed to learn something new and put my head down and be humble. So if we look a gift horse in the mouth, if we are offered a job with a foot in the door, yet because of what we've done in the past, our ego is getting in the way of accepting it, then we're in trouble. We're in trouble with that kind of mindset. So you have to be more flexible. Don't fall into the trap or the prejudicial statements that people make about older people being set in their ways. Even some humans say that on a regular basis. I love that one, as well as I'm computer illiterate. Those type of statements don't help you. That type of thinking is called stinking thinking. So let that go. Kick yourself in the rear end to stop that and embrace what is ahead of you and that you have a lot to learn and that neither 2 years of school nor a certificate program or anything you learned in other jobs really completes what you need to know in the legal field. You have not arrived yet. And so while you may have crickets when you send in your resume and cover letter because you haven't done it correctly, that's something you need to learn how to do. You don't have the skill sets, they can see it. So it's like, well, how do I get in? Oh, there are ways to get in. But embrace what they need. It's just because you have 30 years of customer relations experience, that's just tip of the iceberg for the law firm. That's important, of course. You'll run circles around everybody else with your customer service skills. But there's a whole host of other duties to perform in that workplace. So embrace what this career is. Learn all you can about it through my videos here and on the YouTube channel, Paralegal Career Mastermind. go over there and learn there. Take the course that is open right now, Paralegal Inner Circle class. You want to know how to get there? Just go to my website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com, and look for the Paralegal Inner Circle class info tab up at the top. Don't let change intimidate you or make you feel that, well, they'll just appreciate everything I know. They will, but even if you're 55, you still have to prove yourself. I don't care what age you are. You have to prove that you do know how to help the attorney in this type of career. That goes for any type of job. They want to know what you can do. But you have to learn some things before you send that resume and cover letter out. Once you're there, saying that you've done this and you've done that to the other coworkers won't build bridges. If they ask you questions, you can talk about it and keep it short, sweet, simple. But build bridges with your new coworkers. Bragging about, being a braggart, or I'm so accomplished. I had somebody tell me when I was a brand new employee, I was a veteran paralegal, but a brand new employee in a law firm came up to me and said that she and her husband were academics. And I'm like, oh, okay. And when somebody has to tell you how smart they are, that kind of says it all, okay? So that's a lot of insecurity there. But I found myself, telling people I own this business, and they did not care. Okay, they didn't care. The thing is, in the one job that I talk about a lot, I had to almost isolate myself, but I don't recommend that for most jobs. I don't recommend, even if you're an introvert, and I am an introvert-extrovert combo, that I isolated myself because I didn't want to be associated with what was going down with a bunch of the women that had been at the law firm for years and years, and it was gossip central. And the attorneys were watching. They were watching it. They weren't doing much about it, not much at all, but they were watching it and very aware of it. So most of the time, though, 99.9% of the time, I did not isolate myself. I forced myself to build bridges and maybe suggest that we bring lunch in. Once I was there for about 2 months, I had this 2-month mark where I just observed and I was congenial. I tried to be nice, but really kind of get the lay of the land and understand that what the culture of a law firm is before you start spewing, okay? And don't spew. Don't spew venom, and don't spew this, I am it, I have arrived, the diva mentality. Oh, thank you, Jacob. Thanks so much. So these are rock solid pieces of advice for you. Not only, sorry, this is moving. I don't have my little stand. I'm sorry, guys. These are typical things that coaches will tell people when you go to a new workplace. I wish I had had this guidance when I was starting out. I had wonderful mentors, but I needed some more of this guidance on how to build bridges. I really did not know. I mean, I tore some down myself. So I'm passing that on to you to, hold on, guys. Sorry for moving this. I know that's annoying as heck. When things happen, this is the final one. When things happen in a law firm, there's been a bit of bad news. Hold on, sorry. There's been a bit of bad news. A case was lost, or worst case scenario, the lawyer you're working for decides to leave and go to another firm, and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to land another job? You will. You will. That's why I tell you, when you go into your first job, your second job, you have to absorb like a sponge. Build bridges so that with coworkers, so that you have people that they may become lifelong friends, maybe not. And you may they may be teaching you a whole lot. So take care of them. Now, I've walked in where it was a lion's den, and just with one other paralegal. It was Nastyville. And I built a bridge with her. It took 2 to 3 months to do that. It took 2 to 3 months in the other firm where it was Gossip Central. So there's something about that 2 to 3 month mark where it's like a shakeout happening. Just bear with it. Try to cope with it. Go out for lunch. Get out of a toxic environment. Soak everything up that you can and move on. Move forward. If it means that after a year or two you don't belong in that firm, shake the dust off your feet and move on. Get a job before you leave a job. Now that's coming from my father, Ronnie. Okay? Hold on, guys. So be flexible at every turn where you're not shooting yourself in the foot yourself. And enough people will try to do that in your life. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. If you get offered a job and it's not optimum as your first job, then you have to understand that it's never optimum in the first job. Never. This is how we break in. I mean, my job was not optimum if I'm breaking in as a legal receptionist, legal secretary, file clerk, all-around gopher. No, that wasn't my optimum job, but that was the foot in the door. The second job was a bona fide paralegal job. So was it worth it? It was worth it. I knew and hoped. I hoped it would be. I actually didn't know because I was new to the field. So, but I'm here to tell you, as a 30-year experienced veteran paralegal, that it is doable, and that is a way to break in. I wouldn't break in as just a legal receptionist because sometimes it's hard to get out of that position, especially if you're good at it. So I would break in a combo position, or if you are able to land an entry-level paralegal position, then you do that. But keep your mind open, be flexible. You will probably not always work in that first job. Okay, so leave that mind open and promise me that that diva mentality that I see in many, many paralegals won't be you, or Devo for the guys. All right, so I'm going to sign off and try to remember to bring my little tripod stand so I don't have to hold this camera and drive you guys nuts. And I hope your Monday is going well, and that things are going well for you. I would love to hear back from you. And whether you're, like, if you're contemplating or open to the idea of breaking in, which I've talked about for, gosh, 3 years now online, about breaking into another position other than paralegal to get the proverbial foot in the door. Yeah. Okay. So have a great one today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video, and hopefully without my shaking this and thumbs and all that. You're so welcome. Hi, Tracy. How are you? And Destiny, thanks for being here. And Jacob, thank you for your kind words. And anybody else here on live with me. But if you have a question right now, then ask it. Don't be shy. That's what I'm here for. Or post it below and I will see it later. Sometimes when I'm doing the videos, and I think Destiny, I think it was you that posted last week, or maybe it was Jamie. I didn't see those comments till later, but if I can, I will do videos and answer your questions, you know. So I always look afterwards, okay? All right, so have a great day. Got to get back to it, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.